right, this is Ellen Weatherford. I'm here as usual with just the two of us. This is your favorite animal review podcast, and this week we're joined by a very special guest. This is Chelsea Connor. Say hi, Chelsea.
Hi, what's up?
I'm so excited. People can't see what you're doing, but you are waving and doing a little dance, and it's very charming.
Doing some finger guns as well.
Unfortunately, people can't see it, but I wanted to really convey how adorable it is. I wanted that to be recorded. So, Chelsea, this week we're talking about a really cool animal. Before we get into our animal, why don't you introduce us to you a little bit? Let us know what you do and how you started doing it.
Okay, so like Ellen said, my name is Chelsea. I'm from the Commonwealth of Dominica. That's in the Caribbean. It's like right in the middle of that chain of islands. It's like between two French islands. It was originally called Waiti Kubli by the Kalinago people who first settled on the island. And there's a lot of flora and fauna that I grew up with that inspired me to work with animals. It's a very beautiful island. You should Google it while you're listening to this because it's amazing. I miss home every day. And I'm actually studying two of the anoles on my island, and the opportunity to go there and study them is what initially got me into anoles. I always knew about the endemic anole on my island, but then when I got here to Texas and my advisor was telling me, hey, I study the anoles on your island, and I'm like, what? No, you don't. No one knows my island. And he's like, yeah, I do. And I started reading more about them. And he's like, do you want to go do it? And I kept reading about them. And I finally said yes to doing it. And that was it. Here I am.
That's awesome. So you grew up in Dominica. What was it like growing up on that island with so many beautiful animals all around you? Like, do you have any really cool wildlife memories?
Yeah, I remember the first time that I got to hold our boa constrictor. We have a boa on the island, and it may or may not be a subspecies. I'm not entirely sure on that, and it doesn't seem like other people are very sure on that either. Some people consider it one, some people don't, from what I'm seeing. And I was at Carnival, actually, and it had been, I'm not sure how long, but sometime before that, I had seen a slightly smaller boa, but it was dead. And that was my first time seeing a boa up close, and I got to open its mouth and look at its teeth, and I was like, I thought all snakes had big fangs like cobras do. Like, what? Wow, that's amazing. And then I had so many more questions after that. And then I got to see a live one, and the guy was like, do you want to hold it? And I'm like, yes. Of course I want to hold it. And I was 11 or something? I was like, yeah, give me that snake. And my sister's like, don't hold the snake. I was like, no, I'm holding the snake. And she walked several feet away because she was like, I don't do snakes. And I'm standing there with the boa on my shoulders, and I'm like, that is amazing. I can feel its muscles. How is it moving? How do snakes move? How is this? How are snakes? And yeah, it's just I immediately was like, okay, well, guess I'm going to work with animals. I'm going to find out why snakes are snakes, and then why other things do what they do, because I have so many questions.
Yeah, they're really cool. One of my favorite things about my first job was working in a pet store for a few years, and we sold ball pythons and stuff like that. So my favorite thing to do was to show kids, that the ball python, first of all, was fine, wasn't just gonna lash out and bite you right away. You could touch it and hold it and stuff, but also that they're so smooth. And they're just cold and smooth and
Yeah.
I think they kind of feel like a worry stone almost.
What is that?
It's I don't know how common they are, but I know people who carry them. It'll be a really, really smooth pebble or stone. Usually it has some sort of indentation in it, and it's kind of like a fidgeter almost. You just, if you're feeling anxious or you just need to fidget with something, you just get out the stone, and it just has a very soothing, cool feeling.
That's cool.
I think that's what a snake feels like to me. It has that sort of effect.
Yeah, no, you're right. Because, I have a corn snake, and sometimes I just hold her, and I'm like, this is nice. Just kind of, rub her head, and she's just looking at me like, why are you touching my head? But
I know, sometimes that feeling isn't always super mutual with snakes, but at least I liked them.
She doesn't hate me.
That's that's progress.
She's just like, why are you doing this? But she doesn't like, she's not like, oh God, I hate it. I'm gonna bite you.
No, she's like,
So
this is okay, I guess. I can tolerate this because you'll probably give me a mouse later.
that's absolutely right. That's absolutely it.
So, this week we are not talking about snakes, even though snakes are great. This week we're talking about a lizard. And it's a really cool lizard that I don't know anything about. So, can you introduce us to your anole friend?
Okay, so this anole is Anolis oculatus. It's the Dominican anole or the eyed anole, or maybe even the Dominican eyed anole. I've heard all three of those.
Just smash them together.
Yeah, I can just smash them together. It is endemic to my island and is one of the anole species that I'm actually studying. There are four recognized ecotypes of this atoll. So what that is there weren't enough differences to consider them subspecies. So there's four different looks that they have depending on what part of the island they're on. So the North Caribbean has like marbling on its sides, along with the eyespots, which is where it got its name from the eyespots on its body. And they are obviously in the north of the island. Then the South Caribbean, which looks a lot like the North Caribbean, but it's distinctly like smaller in size. Then you have the Atlantic, that's on the east coast. And I think sometimes it will be a little bit more inland as well. And then the Montane, which is like up in the mountains.
So this lizard comes in a few different sort of skins almost like.
Yes. And then even within those eco types, they're still like highly variable on their pattern. So as you expect, no two individuals look the same, but they can also like they interbreed because they're not distinct like separate species or anything. So they interbreed and you can get like a little mix of patterning, which is really fun to see.
Say that you are looking at anoles and you see this one. How do you know when you're looking at it that this is the type of anole that you're looking at? Like, what is its like identifying traits?
That's a very good question. Sometimes you get to a point where you just recognize the thing so easy you stop thinking about like the identifying features for someone else who
Mm-hmm.
might not be looking at it. It's just that you know, oh, okay, I know these things. So all anoles have dewlaps, and for Anoles oculatus, its dewlap is orange. So that's like one thing. But there are other anoles that might have orange dewlaps as well. So if you look at its body, it'll have like usually most of the ecotypes have a black spot with a white spot on top of it. And that distinctive eye spot is what gives it its name. So there may be one, there may be two, there may be three on each side. It depends. If there's none of those, the best indicator that you're looking at this anole is, are you on the island of Dominica? If yes, and this anole is not brown, it's not dark brown, you're looking at Anolis oculatus. If it is dark brown, you're probably looking at Anolis cristatalis, which is the invasive species that has ended up on the island.
Oh, okay. So prior to the introduction of that darker brown anole, this one that we're talking about was the first one that was there,
Yes.
like the only one that lived there.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Oh, I guess that's what endemic means. But anyway, okay. So this gives us a good idea of the type of anole that we're working with here. So if this is your first time listening to this podcast, our whole thing is that we review animals and we rate them out of 10 in 3 different categories. And our first category is effectiveness, which for us, that means what sort of physical adaptations the animal has that let it maybe take advantage of its environment or do the things that it's trying to do. So whether that's predation or escaping predation or whatever it's trying to do to get by, like how well it's physically adapted to do those things. So what would you give the Dominican eyed anole out of 10 for effectiveness?
I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on with this lizard? Like how has it sort of optimized its body for living where it lives?
Well, each of the ecotypes has morphological differences. That means their bodies are different. So, some ecotypes are a certain and this is gonna sound really similar to ecotypes, ecomorph, which is a form that it's used to describe forms anoles have for like the different habitats that they live in. So some of the Anoles oculatus populations are trunk crown anoles, which means they live like on the tree trunk and in the lower canopy, and then some are trunk ground, which means they live like on the tree trunk and then on the ground. So they will have longer legs if they're trunk round so that they can jump from the trunk to rocks, across rocks, and then the trunk crown anoles will have like slightly shorter legs because they're not doing that same jumping that the other ecomorph is doing. So even that variability in between them is amazing.
What do they typically eat?
Insects. I'm trying to remember if they're ambush or if they actively look for prey. I think they do a bit of both, but mostly they go out and they look for prey.
How about what eats this lizard? Like, are there predators on the island that are after these little dudes?
Yeah, so they get eaten by birds and some snakes as well would eat these. So we have a lot of small snakes in addition to our boa. One of them is it's a racer, and that's usually the one that I've seen eating the anoles. Usually the little racers that can catch them. They're really quick. That's why they're called racers. So they're fast enough to catch them because the anoles do tend to be really quick themselves. Some of them do eat earthworms as well.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm thinking of an anole, I'm thinking of the little dudes that like skitter around. So like
Yeah,
be still for a while, and then when they see you, they're like.
yeah, a lot of them take off, but there are some that are actually like really like bold, particularly larger, older males. Like you'll approach them and they're like, okay, and
What are you gonna do about it?
like I know you see me sitting here, so but yeah, like that's the ones I usually end up hand catching because they think that I'm not gonna do anything. So like, oh, I can just like reach out and grab you real quick. You have to be like really fast though too. But yeah, as far as being prey, it's birds and snakes.
Okay. Did they have any sort of defenses built into their body, like things that help them either not be detected by predators or things that help them escape from predators when they're detected? Like how are they avoiding being eaten, I guess?
Yeah, so like a lot of lizards, they use their tails. They can detach it at will and run off. So they will wave their tails as a distraction, and when the predator goes for their tail, they'll just drop it. Like, okay, peace out.
So they bait it first. They're like, "Ooh, look over here at this delicious tail."
Yeah, it's like, look at this tail. Wow. Is it a worm? Is it a snake? Wouldn't you like to know? Why don't you
Go check it out. Bye.
check it out? And then as soon as they go for it, it's like, okay, see ya.
I like that. Yeah, our anoles around here do that too. Actually, very recently, you helped me figure out that was what a skink was doing on my back patio.
Oh
It
yeah.
was waving its little tail in that S shape, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So you mentioned earlier that it has eye spots. Are the eye spots on its head or on its body?
It's on its body. It's on its side, so it'll be on both sides and they'll have the same number on either side. So if it only has one on one side, then it's only gonna have one on the other side as well. But some of them end up with like three spots on each side. It's really cool.
Ooh, that does sound cool. What is the purpose of the eye spots? Like, I've heard of eye spots on animals where they use it to like look like a bigger animal so that they can spook predators. But is that what's going on with this anole, or like what are the eye spots for?
I would guess that's what they're for. I personally don't think they look very much like eyes, but I can see how like in naming them you look at them and be like, "Oh, well these look like eye spots." Especially when they have like three on each side though. It's like, are they really eyes? I guess with their displays as well, when they're doing push-ups, it can help if a predator is coming from the side for it to look like it's much bigger than it is. It's like, oh, I'm looking at you from the side. I can see you, so you're not ambushing me as you think.
That's so interesting that it has them like all over the body instead of just like on the head or something like that. Like it's not like mimicking a head, it's just mimicking the eyes. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So our next category that we rate our animals on is ingenuity. And if this is your first time listening to this show, what we mean by ingenuity are behavioral adaptations that an animal has. So these are like things that it's doing with its body to either take advantage of certain aspects of its environment or compete with other animals or, whatever it's doing that's kind of clever or strategic. So what would you give this anole out of 10 for ingenuity?
As much as I love this Anole, I'm gonna have to give it a 6 for ingenuity.
That's like okay.
Yeah, it's doing okay. There's so many other Anoles that are also doing these same Anole things, and that's why I love Anoles on a whole, because they're special and great. But then when you're looking individually, it's like, okay, other Anoles do that too. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. You mentioned that, this invasive species of anole has now moved into the same territory. Like, how is this anole responding to that, if it is at all? Like, are there any sort of I know that something we talked about when I talked about green anoles with our guest Emily Bell a while back. She talked about how when the brown anoles moved into Florida, green anoles sort of shifted, like where they were living in the trees
Yeah.
to respond to the invasive anoles. Like, are you seeing any sort of shifts in this anole's either behavior or body, like that would indicate that it's responding to the invasive species?
Yeah, so like with the green anoles are trunk crown anoles. So that's what helped facilitate their shift like up into the trees, while the brown anoles are trunk ground anoles. So they're typically at a much lower level than the other anoles. And it's the same with Anoles oculatus. Like I said earlier, some populations are trunk crown. So those ones have just like remained where they are, and then the other populations that are trunk ground maybe like living with them as best as they can in that shared habitat. My research is looking at the dietary overlap of them. So it's looking at, are they eating the same things? So what we want to know is, okay, in these places where they're living together, is there a lot of competition for food? Are they eating different food? Are they eating different food because they're at different levels? Like things like that.
Is that still something that is like in process?
It's still in process.
Okay. That'll be really interesting.
I can't get into the lab because of COVID. Our colleagues can't get into their lab to finish the samples.
Oh no, we'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah.
So as far as like the behaviors that they're doing, you said they do like push-ups, and I know that they do like the dewlap extending too.
Hmm.
And this is something that you can see in a lot of different types of anoles. I know I could probably look out my window that's right next to me right now. I could probably find one or two of them doing it out there. Are they like communicating with each other, or are they communicating with predator? Like what are they doing to kind of like communicate with each other?
So for like mating displays, they'll use their dewlap, try to attract mates, but they also do that to other males as well with the push-ups and everything to like tell them, hey, this is my space. I don't know what you think you're up to, but I live here. Go away. So, if you ever see an old fight, they will be like displaying at each other for a little bit before they actually get to the fight. So, if neither of them backs down after the extensive displays, then they'll start fighting. But like that's how they communicate with each other. I've never heard an anole make a sound.
I don't think I have either. I don't think I've ever heard a lizard make a sound.
Geckos are known for like making little noises.
Oh, okay. I guess like when I'm thinking of a lizard sound, I'm thinking of like it might hiss like a snake, but I also know
Uh,
that that's probably like not it. I've never heard one either, but like around here when people like people will like to catch lizards and do that little funny thing where you like stick them on your fingers and stuff.
I keep hearing about people in Florida doing this. What is going on? Or like putting them on their ears. Like who?
Mhm.
That? What is happening in Florida? Please explain.
There's so many of them. Like the anoles are so they're literally everywhere. Like you cannot go anywhere without seeing either a green anole or a brown anole or, something like that. I don't even know how to describe how like densely populated they are, but you can't go anywhere without seeing them. And so, like little kids are just gonna be little kids. And so if they're fast enough to catch one, which most kids are, then they'll catch one, and just kind of the lizard is not pleased about it, and so the lizard will be kind of like trying to open its mouth to sort of like
Yeah, they
display,
bite.
like, yeah, and so they do bite, and so little kids will just stick their little finger right in there in its mouth, and the anole will chomp down on it, and then they're like, oh look here, I've got this little finger puppet on my, and then you'll see kids with like they've got like one on each
God.
finger,
Oh my
and
God.
because kids are
I'm
fast and
stressed.
they catch the lizards and they put it on all their fingers, and then yeah, sometimes they will put them like dangle them from their earlobes like earrings. Yeah, kids are not kind. I mean, in my experience, typically this does not end in any, like, they'll just like play around with a lizard for a few minutes and then just let it go. I know a lot of people do like to catch them and like keep them. Like,
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, I'll just make this a pet."
yeah, it's funny because when I used to work in a pet store that sold green anoles that were just the same kind that you would get outside, and I always
Yeah.
wondered, I was like, why are you paying money for this?
Right? You could just like pick one up. Well, I have mixed feelings about like pet stores.
Yeah, I was definitely like, I don't know. I felt very baffled by it. I was like, why are you selling this? They live outside. I was like, you can literally walk out our door and probably turn to your left and you will see one for
And you'll
free. It's
find, yeah.
outside.
I'm just gonna sit there and look at you like, "Hey, what's up? What's good?"
You don't have to pay $10 for this. They're free. So yeah, little kids. It's very true. I do remember kids doing the little lizard finger puppets.
I'm stressed for the lizards.
Yeah, it's a lot. I never did it because I was a little bit too nervous to actually grab them. I was always like a really skittish kid, and so I was too scared. I was too scared to actually grab one.
You couldn't hang with the cool kids? Lizard? Dang.
No, I was too scared.
Oh, I just DM'd you a gecko making a little noise.
Now I have
Yeah.
to hear it.
It sounds like a little evil laugh.
Just take a quick little detour to hear this gecko. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, oh my. That's so cute.
It is.
I love that.
I'm like, oh my God.
I love him.
It's like if Wario was a cute little gecko, that's what he'd sound like.
Oh my God, you're right. It sure is. Oh, what a cutie. But like anoles don't make this sound, right? You said that's a gecko.
That's a gecko. Listen, if anybody knows about anole sounds, like please hit me up because I'm pretty sure I've looked this up before and I've gotten nothing.
Yeah, do at me about anole
If I'm
sounds.
wrong, at me and let me know because I would love to find out more about anole sounds.
So when you're studying anoles, like what's your process look like for studying the anoles? Are you like, does it involve catching them in the wild and like physically handling them to study them? Or are you kind of like studying, I don't know, like their poop, or like what does your process look like?
I am studying their poop. So I caught them. So what you do is you lasso the anole and you pull him out of his tree and it doesn't hurt. They're very angry about it because who would like getting fished out of your cool little branch that you're basking on? Once I have them, take measurements. So the SVL, which is snout to vent length, so that's from the tip of the nose to the opening of the cloaca. And a lot of lizards are measured like that because lizards can lose their tail. So adding that into calculating its length or its body size it doesn't always make it very accurate because that could change the instant that they like lose their tail. So I'd measure that. I'd take their cloacal temperature, which is very embarrassing for them because you gotta stick a little thermometer up their butts, but you do it gently. You take the temperature, and You take the temperature of the branch they were sitting on, and then if you're lucky, when you catch them, they just like poop in your hands as their final defense. They just like poop
Oh.
right on you.
Oh, they're doing it like intentionally.
Yeah, like, oh my God,
Wow.
why did you catch me? I'm going to poop in your hand. Please see how bad it tastes. Please let go. And sometimes they won't poop, so we'd hold them for like a little bit longer, and hope that they poop while they're sitting in their little canvas bag. Then I can let them go or we caught them. Once we have the poop sample, it goes in a labeled, because each anole gets a number, and their sample gets a number, and the number like is consistent with pictures and the data recording for their size and everything. So the poop goes into the vial, and then the poop all came back. All 100 something vials of poop came back with me to Texas, and then they went off to the lab, and yeah, that's where the DNA extraction and sequencing happens.
Are the anoles very difficult to catch? I know you said some of them will just kind of chill and let you approach them.
Yeah, so I can hand catch some of them, but most of them need to be caught with a lasso because some of them are very skittish, especially the females. They'll just like run off if you get too close. They're like, no, thank you.
What does the lasso look like? Because when you say lasso, I'm imagining like cowboy style, like big rope that they're throwing around a cow.
So it looks like a fishing pole with fishing wire on the end, but the wire is like tied into a little loop, and the little loop goes around their necks, and then when you like pull them off of the branch or wherever they're sitting, their weight like counterbalances it, and they're like, oh, caught. They're like, you caught me.
Oh, poor things.
um, a lot of them will like wiggle around to try to get down, and there are a couple times when that works because it's not tied around their necks. So if they wiggle enough, they can just like loosen it and just like drop off. So it doesn't happen very often though. It's happened like 3 times that I've seen, and it's all been students. So
It sounds to me like it's not, you don't run the risk of the lizard outsmarting you. I know with some animals it can be kind of difficult to trap them because they can like figure out traps or they can like, learn different ways of getting out of things. It sounds like the anole is maybe kind of straightforward.
well, some of them will bite at the loop. Yeah, they'll attack it and they'll bite at the loop and they'll like ruin your loop, so you have to pull it back and fix it and
Oh
try
no.
again. But then they're still like waiting for it to come back for so they can fight some more.
Oh my gosh. They have an attitude about it.
Yeah.
They're like, "Are you ready to go?"
Yeah. Like, oh, you want to fight? You came here to fight? I'm ready to fight.
If you're looking to throw down, we could throw down.
We can do it. I have nothing to lose.
Do lizards kind of have like a macho attitude?
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. So for our last category that we talk about for our animals is aesthetics. And this is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty straightforward. It's just how visually appealing you find the animal. So what do you give this anole for aesthetics out of 10?
Can I give it a 12? Am I allowed to do that?
Everybody tries.
Dang. Fine, I guess I'll do 10.
I'm looking at, you described it to me and I also pulled it up on Google, so I'm looking at pictures of it. The speckling on it is really cool.
It's nice, yeah. If there's speckling, it might be the North Caribbean that you're looking at.
Okay, yeah, the ones that I'm looking at have these bright white spots on them.
Does it have a lot of dark green on it, or is it more of like a drab olivey tone?
It's like an olivey color.
Yeah, it sounds like North Caribbean.
Oh, they're so cool. They look like little dragons.
Yeah, the montane ecotype tends to be like rich greens with like the spots on it look white, but then if you look at them like in person or you look closer, there's like a blue to it.
Oh, I see.
But it's like the palest of blues.
Just a little dash of blue.
The dash.
I love them. They're really beautiful. Tell me about, which is something that I don't think would come across in pictures, but you having handled them would probably be able to answer. What is their like skin texture like? What is it like to touch one?
how do I describe that? I think they're pretty smooth, but it's like a certain type of smoothness. I don't know how to explain it. I also like how their dewlaps feel.
Oh
Their
yeah.
dewlaps feel kind of like silky. Like if you just like rub its dewlap, because I'd have to like extend their dewlap to take pictures sometimes. So like it extended. I was like, oh, it's soft. I didn't expect it to be like silky almost. It's
Huh.
weird.
I wouldn't have thought that either from looking at it.
Yeah, like you can obviously like feel the scales on its dewlap, but
Mhm.
then like if you just like rub it, don't go catching lizards just to rub their dewlap. Okay, that's a little stressful for them. But if you have reason to catch an anole and it's a male, it has a dewlap, or a female with a tiny dewlap, and you just like just rub it.
Just real
It's like,
quick.
oh, this is like a little silky.
They kind of like in the pictures I'm looking at, they kind of look like they would be feel kind of bumpy and almost pebbly, but I'm not sure if that's just an optical illusion because of the spots.
Yeah, I think the spots is what's getting you. Like there are like little like, honestly, I don't think I even like really felt the spots now I'm thinking about it.
If they're just like pigmented spots, then I guess it would make
No,
sense.
they are scales, but it's like you don't really like feel like, oh, there's a big bump there. It's like when you have the faintest of goosebumps.
Oh, I love that. That's really cute, actually.
Yeah.
They have goose flesh. I don't know. Some people call goosebumps goose flesh. So like,
Yeah, I've heard that before, and I've always been like, huh?
yeah, they just
Goosebumps.
have it permanently. I'm so charmed by this little anole. He's very cute. I hope that I get to see them. I've only ever been in the whole sort of Caribbean area. I've only ever been to the British Virgin Islands.
They're okay.
And I saw the lizards that I saw there were not they were like introduced species, which was unfortunate. I would have loved to see some native species, but all I saw were just kind of the invasive little like brown anoles and stuff. And I was like, well, I could have seen these in my backyard.
Wait, didn't you see Amivas?
Oh, I forgot all about that. I did.
Yeah, because sent me the picture, right?
I did. Yeah, like even that one I had forgotten about and I found the picture when I was going back through all the pictures and I was like, "What is this lizard?" So like I had even forgotten that I saw it.
I think most islands have an endemic Amiva. I'm not an Amiva expert, so if I'm wrong, I have no problem with being wrong. Let me know. But I think most islands have, like, they have endemic anoles. A lot of islands have endemic anoles. I think they also have endemic Amivas as well. And some big islands have more than one species of Amiva.
And when you say amiva, because this was not a term that I was familiar with before I even like unearthed this photo from my vacation photos and you ID'd it for me. What is like an amiva as it like? I guess what sets amivas apart from like other lizards?
Amivas are ground lizards. They're a genus of whiptail, and I think some of the amivas on the islands are like now in a different genus, but they're still also called amivas in their common name anyway. They're like these little stocky ground lizards. Like you'll see them like running around. They usually have like pretty long tails too.
Yeah, I had thought it was a skink because where I live we have skinks, and so like that was what I thought it was. Like I was just like, I don't know, looks like some type of skink to me. There's so many lizards.
There are a lot of lizards.
There's so many, and I'm so bad at telling them apart. So I have so much respect for people who are able to look at a lizard and be like, yes, I know what type of lizard that is, because I'm like, how?
I think it's just like noticing identifying features and then like what features species have in common if they're like in the same genus. Because I've never had to think about amivas before, I'm having trouble like telling you what stands out for me for an amiva. But we have an endemic one on my island as well. So usually if I see a lizard that looks similar to it, I'm gonna go, oh, it's either in the same genus or it's like closely related. Let me find out. It's most likely definitely in the same family, which I can't pronounce. I'm going to attempt. There's two eyes, so it's throwing me off. I think it's Tay. Please don't roast me. None of us speak Latin.
I'm really glad that you also are not 100% sure on these names because that's something I always struggle with.
I always have to write them, so I'm like, I can spell it, but don't ask me to say it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one with that struggle.
So it's spelled Teiidae.
Okay. I know that like when you're so familiar with an animal, you can just kind of like identify it by like its vibe.
Yeah. Like if I was at home now and there was a blur in the corner of my eye, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know what that blur is. Because I'm just so familiar with the animals at this point.
That was the aura of this type of animal. That kind of brings us to the last thing we'll kind of talk about before we get wrapped up. Tell us about the sort of things that you're working on now. I know you mentioned that you're studying the diets of these anoles, but like what kind of work are you up to? I know you're active on Twitter and you have a lot of really cool stuff going on there. I know you got linked up with Anole Annals, right?
Yes. Oh my God, that was so exciting. I do posts every week on Thursday, hashtag did you annul? And it's just like I pick an annul and I share some facts about them because annuls are cool. Let's learn about more. There's so many annuls out there that people don't know about. Everybody should study these lizards. They're the best studied species. You won't hurt my feelings if you say that they're not. I promise you I'll be fine. And then somebody from Anole Annals is like, hey, love your Did You Annul post. Do you want to do them on Anole Annals? And I was like, you mean the Annole website? Of course I want it. What are you talking about? Of course I do. Especially when I'm trying to like find pictures. Anole Annals is usually the only place I can find them. Because there's at least one person who has taken a picture of this anole and it's on this website. So I was like, of course, I've already bookmarked Anole Annals to begin with. And now I've been looking at it like 100 times more often because I'm trying to find pictures and stuff. Of course, please tell me more about what I need to do. And so I format my posts for the blog first now, and then it's easier to format tweets from that. And they are slightly different. The information is the same, but like certain quips that I make are different depending on which one you're looking at. I also use different pictures sometimes. So if you are interested in what those different jokes are and what the different pictures are, you guys gotta read both. That's just how it is. It's worth it.
And then the repetition will help you remember the facts better anyway.
Yeah. So you can like show off to your friends, like, hey guys, did you know about this and all? And just throw that out there. Just let them know.
Yeah, if you live in an area with lots of anoles, it can be really fun to like go out places, and when you see one, then you can be like, let's have a quick little lesson about this cool anole.
Right? Tell your friends, oh, it's SVL looks like it's about, I don't know, like 76 millimeters. They're gonna be like, SVL? What's that?
You'd be like, well, sit down, my friend.
Let me tell you.
I know, even I feel like just busting out the word dewlap sometimes will be like, ooh,
Yeah.
look at me, I know what a dewlap is.
Be like, dewlap? Do you mean it's like fruit flag thingy? Devin from the Wildlife Podcast calls them like fruit flags.
Yeah. If you don't already know that there's a word for it, that's what it is, basically.
I actually really like fruit flag. I'm like, okay, that's probably like my favorite one.
I know when I saw a picture one time, it was like a screenshot of someone typing into Google like lizards doing the thing, and then it was all pictures of lizards with their dewlap extended, and they were like, thank you. You knew what I was talking about. Even just having the word dewlap sometimes can be like, ooh, like you're flexing a little bit. You're like, oh, the dewlap?
Like, check out my sick lizard knowledge, guys.
And so you post these on your Twitter as well, and that is at Chelsea Herps.
That's me. I also draw anoles. I draw anole stickers. I do have one that's just a green anole posing, and I do have an anole eating a bug that may or may not say ice on it. But I mainly draw dew pops, which is anoles with popsicles that match their dewlap color and pattern.
They're so cute. They're so cute. I love them. And they're perfect for like Florida in the summertime
Oh yeah.
because that's when all the lizards come out and also it's hot, so everybody wants popsicles.
Yeah.
It's the perfect Florida summer vibe.
Yeah, and I actually have reference photos that I draw, like I put them up in my drawing space so that the colors can be accurate because I pull directly from the photos for the colors. So, if you're looking at them wondering, is it really that color? Yes, it really is that color. I swatched multiple spots on the dewlap to make sure that I got a good overall feel of the color. And even in the ones that have like little gradation, like yes, I noticed that that's what's happening on the dewlap, and I put it in there.
So if you like art that is both cute and scientifically accurate, that's your hookup.
If you would like to find out more about lizards, you can at me on Twitter. Don't at me if you're gonna roast the Knowles. Please don't please don't do that. I won't respond. I won't respond to a knoll roast. I won't be baited like this.
No time for it.
But my website thingy, it has all my links and everything. It's on my Twitter page. So if you need to like email me or you don't remember what my store is or anything, don't worry. Just click that link and it has like everything right there for you. And I have a Patreon now, which I'm trying to
Yay!
do. Yeah, I'm trying to finish a drawing for it, but my Surface Pro and my drawing program are not cooperating right now. But I have a Patreon, so if you'd like to see Anole drawings earlier, if you'd like to pick what Anole gets drawn, if you'd like to pick what product the Anole art gets put on, Patreon is how you do.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. I've had a lot of fun talking about anoles. I feel like I've learned a lot about not just this anole, but about what it's like to kind of work with them. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your knowledge with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Oh, thank you. I think it was too. All right, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.